Alrighty, let's get this thing rolling. All right, I'll be starting here. In about 5 minutes. Let me get some stuff together. But we'll be talking about some dip and rip trades. So a couple trades that I'm looking at today, and a couple other things. So bear with me. I'll see you guys here in about 5 minutes. I don't think you can hear me now. How's it going, guys? Hopefully you can hear me. So today I just wanted to go live. I just want to go live and just talk about a couple things, specifically some trades that I've been looking at. What I'm basically calling this is a dip or rip. Okay, perfect. All right, sorry, I was just making sure everything's good there. All right, so I haven't really done this. Is probably like my third or fourth live, so bear with me if crazy things happen. So below over here is you'll see that it says early access is now live for the Magazine indicator. So I'm actually going to be sharing this indicator as well. So you'll be able to let me actually pin that in the chat here. Okay, so that'll be in the chat if you guys are interested in this. You don't have to get it, obviously. This is a premium indicator that we created. It is called the Magna Zone, and brand spanking new, and it's really great. It's really cool. But let me get everything going here. I'm gonna show you some cool things about it. And then we'll get going here. So a couple things. So the first one here is this is the Walmart chart, right? So this is the Walmart on the hourly. Let's look at it on the daily. Really nothing much here that we can look at. But once we zoom out, right? If we zoom out here, what do you guys notice? There is a clear zones at the top, a clear zone at the bottom. So you can see this right here. Really nice zone here at the all-time highs. And then there's even a nice zone all the way down here. So I'm a big time. I like the Walmart stock. I think it's just always going to be going up. Maybe not always, but it does pull back, obviously. But look at the run. It's been on. I mean, if you'd have just been buying, great trades. And something else that I love about this, if you go on the daily, is this. So you can see these right here. How it says breakout. So if you would just buy at these breakouts, buy at the breakout, buy at the breakout, buy at the breakout. There was one bounce sell, so that would have been a loser. So the sells would have been a loser. So the Bears, the Bears, the last couple years here were the losers. If you would be following the system, obviously, but really nice. And basically what happens is there's just lines right here, and you can see how they just, as soon as there is an entry, so there's a breakout, boom. And then there are previous lines that will delete, but they never repaint. So essentially, I could keep all these lines on a chart if I want. It gets a little too crazy, though, so that's why I adjusted the settings to where there's only just a couple on at a time. And I have it on the very lowest setting as well. But anyways, we don't want to go too much into that. I don't want this to be just a pitch about an indicator or anything like that. But I do want to share some interesting charts that I've been seeing. Just kind of go briefly through here. So Walmart. So let's actually look at Walmart. So I'm going to bump down even on the I'm going to bump down on the hourly chart here. So what I like about Walmart right now it was a nice little push up, and then we actually are in a pullback zone. So what I think that a logical trade to the upside or downside, it's going to have to be in these zones. It really is. There really isn't. I don't think there really is a trade right here. I mean, yeah, if you could make a case where there is a trade where you go up to the zone or down the zone. But really what I call this middle right here that it's in, right? I call these the dead zone, right? So this is the dead zone, dead Z. And if you're in an option, right? And I don't know how many times this has happened to me, and it's probably happened to you guys. If you're buying shares, it's one thing. If you're just buying the dips, buying the dip, that's one thing, right? Because you're just going to hold it regardless. But if you're in options, you got to have this thing moving in your direction as quickly as possible. Even if you're at the money, say you're right here, but you're at the money. If this just starts to just do this, right? business starts to do this, you're actually losing money, right? You're actually starting to lose money even if you're at break even, because the theta is going to decay and you're just going to be losing a bunch of stuff. So this is a pretty large dead zone, I would say. But I think there could be some real clarity if we do get down here, if we do get up there. And Walmart is notorious for bouncing off of these levels. So we actually had a pretty couple nice. This was a breakout zone right here. So a breakout buy right there, and I can even adjust these settings a little bit to show some of these previous levels. And so yeah, that was a nice breakout right there. It came up here to formed a resistance, and so you can see how price it went right back down to this this bottom support zone at the time. And then chopped a little bit, and then it just gapped down. This was earnings. So earnings, earnings could have went all the way back up here, all the way down there. Earnings is just a big question mark usually. But man, what a crazy move this was, all the way back up to the top zone. And then it just kind of just chopped a little bit. So this is the kind of stuff where you'll get hurt. This will chop you out. This will slice you up if you're in options. But that's why I like to show some of these lines, and I can even go more than that. And so what happens with these? And so I'm just kind of explanation here. These are all prior support, big strong support, big strong resistance levels all the way in the past. And so I left this on just because it's a really interesting thing, because like say you're looking at this chart right here, for instance. Look at all of the levels at this particular price that there was support or there was resistance on. And orange means resistance in the past, and then blue would mean support. But pretty cool, and it's very, you could definitely tell that in and around this price there is some meaning there, and there's a lot of stuff happening usually. But in any case, I like to know the latest, the most recent areas to target, and so that's why I just have these two particular ones right here on Walmart. So yeah, so really there isn't a. So if you're gonna say, hey Ben, I want to trade on Walmart right now, where is it gonna go? Well, I'm gonna say I don't know. I would say, well, not that I don't know, but none of us know. First of all, but second of all, there is the clarity is just not here on this chart. There's not enough clarity for you to just say, all right, well, I mean, yeah, you could say there is a little bit of support right here that it could potentially be, potentially bounce off of. But that's the thing. It'll just ride that along. This one makes a lot more sense down here. Or if it comes up here and breaks it, when it breaks it, it could continue the upside or continue the downside. What I actually like about Walmart, though, is when it does dip, and that's why if Walmart does dip all the way down here, I'd be a definitely big buyer, because look at all these dips. There's a lot of times where it'll come back, and you'll be able to grab a great trade, and it shoots right back up. So, all right, so that's Walmart. So everybody, is that kind of clear for everybody? I did a video the other day, and then someone was like, well, that wasn't very clear. So I want to make sure that was clear. I'm not, basically what I'm saying here is not, I don't really have an idea for a trade on Walmart right now. So there isn't a dip or rip trade for you. So I'll put a question mark. How's that? Is that clear that there isn't really a clarity? There isn't really a clear trade here yet. So if that makes sense to anybody at all here in the chat, I think there's a couple of you guys. Let me know, and then we'll move on to the next. I'll move on to the next chart here. So let's go to there was SoFi. So SoFi is a very interesting chart. And so there was a parallel here. So there's a parallel up channel. So this is a nice little channel to the upside. And in between all this stuff, we had a couple nice little, there was a nice breakout sell right here, a nice little breakout buy right there, a nice little bounce, and then a breakout buy to the upside there. So a lot of stuff happening in very little time. This is since April, right? This is since April, which is not a lot of time, honestly. We're only in June. And so a big time channel. upsloping channel, and so it actually just broke it. So it actually just broke it here, and I think even on the daily it looked even better. Yeah, look at that daily chart. So this is the one that I had my eye on. So basically on the hourly chart, we did get a breakout buy right here. So a nice breakout buy to the upside. And it did pull back a little bit, but it did break this channel, which is really nice. So that's what I really would like to see. I think grabbing a couple shares here could be a great option. Honestly, could be a great option, or options trades. But I see if you're looking for a target, so if you're looking for a dip or a rip trade, I like this one. I like SoFi here to about 18. About 1850, 1830 range. So this little zone here, obviously, right? I also have to say that I don't know the future. This is just purely educational purposes, right? So, but I'm just looking at the charts and I'm giving you my best, analysis of what I see here. And I like this particular looking trade. It has been very strong as well. We actually had a lot of momentum, and I actually have a momentum indicator that we actually have a lot of, check out all these nice indicators. So we have a lot of systems here. But I like to try to keep them as clean as I can, because sometimes it gets a little too crazy. But the power index has some strong, a strong trend power, momentum power, and profit power. And so essentially what that is so the more green lights you see, the stronger it is. And so we actually have a lot of power going on with this. I even have a couple other entry level systems where I go down to the 15-minute, and then if we have some green lights, I call it the green light option. And so yeah, right now we actually have a recommended call. So right now there actually is a recommended call at this breakout level on the 15-minute chart. Essentially what it does, all it does is it analyzes, so look at SPY, actually S&P 500 is up, so that's actually nice today. And yeah, there's some good trades there. So yeah, but I don't want to like just go crazy with these tools, but I do use all of them, and I like to see that. Good to see. It's always good to see. But yeah, daily chart, this is looking pretty solid. Really nice, strong trade. Again, this is ticker SOFI. This is SoFi. I think they even had some recent news. Yeah, they will expand the services to include stablecoin transactions, staking, crypto assets, borrowing after 2-year pause in crypto trading during its bank chart application. So yeah, so that is some pretty interesting news coming out. Again, I don't think news just completely you always have to have news for a stock to drive up or drive down. But yeah, so that's the nice levels. So again, Magnezone painted some really interesting levels. What I like about this, and basically, and I teach this to our members, essentially, going on a higher time frame and maybe even finding a level, maybe even finding a particular, maybe like a particular take profit area, even on the higher time frames. And then coming down here, I actually like the hourly for entries. And so again, really nice looking chart there on SoFi. All right, so let's keep moving. Hopefully this is like I said, I don't think anybody has jumped in chat yet, but if this is something that you enjoy, make sure you let me know in the chat, because I want to make sure that this is something that you guys are wanting to see. And I think this is something that I could do on a regular basis. What I like to do is get on a schedule, and I think something like this on a schedule would be really, really good for you guys. Just because, and it's good for me too, because I do this stuff every day anyways. I'm always in here in the mornings. It's 10:30. It's almost 10:30. So I'm always in here in the charts, just watching stuff break out or bounce or things like that. So I think that could be actually even something that we could do on a regular. All right, so let's look at a couple more charts and we'll get out of here. So the S&P 500, so the SPY, it recently just came into a support level, and it bounced. And so this was a nice bounce trade to the upside, and then it broke out of this resistance level. And so now it's continuing to go to the upside. I actually like this as well. So let's actually go on the daily. It's actually in this zone right now, but SPY just... Okay, I actually think we just broke all-time highs. Yeah, I think we just broke all-time highs today. So congratulations, everybody. If you were one of the many, and even me, I was getting a little bit worried there that we're panicking. Well, here we are just a few days later, back to all-time highs. So congratulations. We have officially hit it. I believe we have hit all-time highs on the S&P 500. So we hit all-time highs on the SPY. We hit the all-time highs on the QQQ. We just broke it. You can see right here, the last time that we did break it, there was a interesting sell. So there was a bounce sell. There was a breakout. This kind of got checked out. So there was a bounce buy potentially that didn't work out, but the sell did. And so, yeah, I really like, this is a really interesting looking breakout on QQQ. So yeah, dip or rip here. I would definitely say QQQ could continue to rip. And there really isn't interesting. There isn't any kind of there isn't any kind of resistance level anymore since it's at its all-time high. Basically, it has to make that, right? And so, and you can use a lot of different variations of tools to find different levels like that. Let's see if we have any. No, nothing like that. But yeah, so really great looking chart here as well on QQQ and SPY. So nice looking trades. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA just broke a okay, so this is actually a nice rip. This is a ripper. So I don't have a cool little sound that I can make, boom, boom, boom. But this is a potential breakout trade here in the makings right now. This is a daily chart. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be 4 days if it closes green in a row for NVIDIA. It's up strong. So that again, we just broke all-time highs on NVIDIA as well. I don't know why I zoomed all the way out there. I knew that this was all-time highs. So yeah, so we're hitting record levels, guys. So some of these stocks, big time stocks, NVIDIA, well, obviously the index is QQQ SPY. Apple actually has been down. So I actually have 2 interesting levels on Apple. And actually, before I go off of NVIDIA, a couple things I like to do at these breakouts, and this was actually already a breakout trade back here. What a great trade. What a nice breakout trade there. But if you're looking at a breakout on the daily, I like to wait for a candle to close above. And it actually already did. So it actually already confirmed that. And then with this zone, I would actually like to wait for it to confirm above as well. We'll get a little buy signal here, and then we'll be on our way. But yeah, there is probably some prices that make sense. Typically, when it's continuing to make all-time highs, you'll look for round numbers. And so a round number that would make sense here would be like 160. And then if that breaks, then 165 or 170, right? And it would just continue. You continue to do it that way. Moving averages. I mean, there's 1,000 different things that you can look for, but this is a really nice looking breakout trade. Probably in this case, what I would look to do is for it to come back into this zone, because what it'll end up doing, it'll probably end up coming back at some point. I don't know if this run will continue just straight up like this. That's a pretty crazy run. It's going to probably do something like this where it'll chop a little bit. It might even make like a flag. before it comes all the way back up. So, but yeah, this is a very interesting zone on NVIDIA right now. And then a couple others. What was I going to look at? So yeah, Apple. Apple is in this triangle pattern. So a trade here. I would like for maybe a close above or below this triangle. And so something like this, where if it does go below that, a quick little put position there, and then a target for down there. If it breaks up here, I definitely could see it coming all the way back up here. I mean, look right now we're hitting all-time highs, right? So a lot of these stocks, NVIDIA just hit all-time high. The SPY, QQQ, those are now at all-time highs, and so Apple is lagging behind in particular. But I mean, also it has had a crazy run up. It has ran up. It was a strong run up towards the end of the year, and then it did come back, and it has been coming back. But it has formed a really, really interesting wedge pattern here, a flag pattern, and or a triangle, I should say. Flag pattern would be a little bit differently, but so yeah, so I definitely could see a rip or a dip here. So something like this, where if it does close above this triangle, and then if it closes below the triangle, so something like that. So let's keep those. Let's keep this on the chart here for us to go check that out later. So yeah, so that is so right now, recap. If you're just now tuning in, we just looked at QQQ SPY all-time highs. SPY just hit all-time highs. Walmart is in a particular zone like this where we don't really have a trade. NVIDIA just broke out. So NVIDIA, I think NVIDIA could be a very interesting play. If you're looking for even just shares, it is all-time highs. So remember that. Obviously remember that. But I think if the market could just continue to keep the momentum up, we could continue to see this drive up. I don't think we'll see this type of move where it'll continue straight up. There probably will be some kind of sideways moves. But this is great for options traders. This kind of move right here, 4 days in a row, great looking trades for options. TSLL is something that I have my eye on as well. And so this is Tesla. So TSLL or Tesla. So I was watching the TSLL chart, and so down here all the way at 630. Well, I came all the way down to 630. And there is an interesting. I saw this, so there could be an interesting triangle pattern forming right here. So again, there really isn't a great zone. And actually, let me look at the hourly here. So yeah, okay. So I was gonna say I thought there was a zone, an interesting zone on here. So there is one at 1169. And actually, let's look at Tesla. Okay, so there isn't that particular zone painted on the actual Tesla chart, but TSL there is. But we have this line that it has respected. So you see that how it has bounced off of this. So it continues to bounce off of this. So that is a very good sign for it to keep continuing to go up as long as it holds this. So as long as it holds this line, I think this could be an interesting. Tesla could just be an interesting stock to keep an eye on for it to continue to go up. So this was news driven. This was the robo-taxi stuff, and then it came all the way back down. I don't think there was anything particular negative. Latest update, raised price target. So there actually is the benchmark raised their price target. Robo-taxi test encountered serious driving issues, lane changes. Okay, so they had a little issues with the robo-taxi, so that could be why. Initially was a good news. It was launched, and then there could be, you never know about that kind of stuff either. So it came all the way back down here, but it looks like it's at an interesting, it actually looks like an interesting level here that continues to hold. So what you could do, And what you could do here is if you want to do TSLL or Tesla. I like TSLL because it's so cheap. So this is actually what is this, 2x leverage on Tesla. So essentially, if Tesla goes 2%, this will go double that. So yeah, this I would actually grab. You could grab some shares here, and if it breaks this level at all, so have a very tight stop loss. You could do something like this, right? And actually, I might even do this. And look at that RR right there. That's some juicy RR. That's almost 5. That's almost a 5 risk to reward ratio. Pretty smart level here to even get out as well. So if you get in with like 2, 3, 400 shares, this could be a really great trade here. It's just a small little move, and it just came up here. It just was up there recently. So with the SPY, QQ, with everything so strong, this could very easily come back up there. And you can have a pretty tight stop loss as well, because I think if it does break this, so actually let's make this a trade of the day here. So let's actually so we have potential trade on Nvidia at those all-time highs. Remember that you do be cautious, because when things are at all-time highs, crazy stuff could happen, right? So this is Nvidia, but I think TSLL has a really good shot at making a continuation here, and I'm actually going to keep this on my radar here, so I'll actually do that. But yeah, TSLL is looking pretty good here. So I actually really like this. And what I like about this also is that there's 2 zones here. So I always say that don't be trading in dead zones, but this actually just recently came freshly off of this this support zone here. And so bear with me for a second here. I'm going to get this doing that. And yeah, so yeah, this could be a good looking trade there. Anything else to note before we get out of here? This is a very interesting thing that I see here. So this was a breakout sell at this bottom magnet zone that I like to call, and a very strong sell off on Google. Very strong sell off, but it has come back up into this zone. So this is an interesting. This is an interesting level to keep an eye on. If it breaks it, it could come back to this level right here at 177.50. So that's actually could be interesting to watch as well. But other than that, there really isn't anything else that I see here on Google. See if they had any kind of news. Raised 5.6 billion last year. Nothing like nothing that is jumping out. Webull, I was watching this. I love the charting platform Webull. It's a great charting platform. They do a bunch of other stuff obviously as well. But they went public pretty recently. This was back in April. They initially had a crazy. They jumped all the way to, it was 80 or 79, and now it's all the way back down to 11. Obviously, I'm not just going to say it's going back to 79 tomorrow. But what I'm doing with Webull, I'm actually doing weekly buys. And so a lot of platforms out there, they allow you to just weekly buy, and so you can actually do that. And so just grab a couple bucks, and I think this is a really strong candidate to continue to make its way back. Maybe not to 79 anytime soon. Those kind of things they get a little crazy sometimes. But I could definitely see this making its way back up there. But yeah, there was an interesting level here. I wanted to get to that at 1170. So there's 2 different levels, very specific things. Remember, in here we're in the chop, but if we can get up here, look how it's respecting it. So this was the first one, and so this is the second one. So the third one, we'll see if it does come up here, if it could break it. So if it could break it, we got a lot of room up there. We have a ton of room. There really isn't anything. It's a gap right there. I mean, even just 14. That's right. That's a big move. It's a big move for this. Let's actually look at our little thing here. So if we couldn't go to, what was that, 14? That's 25%. So that could be a 25% move potentially with here on bull. And this is another really cheap stock. It's gonna have to get through this. This is a big wall. It's gonna have to get through this resistance level here, and this could be something that could be quite interesting. But yeah, really nice bounce here. A very strong bounce. Really nice strong bounce there. And yeah, let's see what oil Exxon is doing. There was an interesting thing that I saw on this. Yeah, so a couple things about Exxon that I noticed is, number one is, I actually had this drawn right there. Yeah, is that whenever it broke out, there was this very interesting downward sloping trend line. So it actually bounced right off of that and came basically a rocket ship to the downside, not to the upside, straight down. And it has seemed to find some kind of support right here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's just I have some crazy allergies today, and I probably should take a pill. But crazy weather, always a factor. But anyways, this is a nice zone. So this looks like a pretty solid zone that oil landed on. So we'll see what happens over what's happening over there in the Middle East. But it did come crashing down. So we'll see if this can hold. So if this can hold, and if this can't, then there's going to be so the indicator. So the magnet zone actually has a couple zones down here. So there is a zone right here, and then there is that zone above here. So right here at the 117. So right now there really isn't a particular, for what I would like to call a magnet zone trade. This would have been the last one right here. So you see this. So essentially, this is what I would want to happen for the next one. So say this right here. So you see how that turns from orange to red, or orange to blue. A nice trade, and it just rocket ship from there. Really nice trade. And that's whenever it came up to this point, and then straight back down. So in this particular one, what I teach my members is, when they break out, I like to have a stop loss in the zone here, so somewhere around here, and then you simply just do 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. So this would have been a 2 to 1 right here. So probably would have got out here at 3%. So this would have been a Monday trade. So probably got out at Thursday. So that would have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then got out there. Nice trade. Quick little option. Could have even been shares. But yeah, I teach all of that in my if you do decide to grab Magnet Zone today, that is something that I'll teach you in there. And like I said, in the description, you'll see a link for the Magnet Zone. So you'll come to something like this. And are you sure you want to leave YouTube? Yes, I am sure. And you'll come to this page right here. And simply, I'll share more about this. And so we have some cool GIFs here, basically just talking about these magnet zones. And so kind of what I've been explaining here. Really cool stuff. What I wanted to show you guys, though, is a run on, and I can even show you on the chart as well, this run on gold, GLD. So breakout, a breakout, a breakout, a breakout, a breakout, a breakout. So there's 6 in a row. Some insane options trades. This would have been a back tested based on the strategy. Some crazy moves, some insane upward movement there. But yeah, if you're interested in MagaZone, go ahead and click on that link. Check it out, grab it. Early access is available right now. But again, I'm sharing this on my chart with you guys right now. So if you have a particular ticker, There's only a couple you hear. But if you have a ticker you want me to check out right now, before we go, throw that in the chat and I will I'll look at it right now. So anything, any ticker you want, Coinbase, Nike, you can look at Coinbase. What a breakout that was. Oh, this is a replay. I was gonna say, I know we had a pretty crazy run on Coinbase. Oh yeah, so oh man, I missed that one. Goodness gracious, what a breakout. So you guys see this? So basically, this is what I love about this thing. So yeah, we had a breakout sell. So this would have been, and again, like I said, nothing. There's never going to be, not everything's going to be winners. And so let's actually take a look at this. So this would have been an interesting zone for a put, right? So let's just go to the next candle. So once we actually got a confirmation, so that wasn't confirmed yet. So that was one more. Yeah, this was the confirmation. So this would have been a confirmation. Looks like a great trade, honestly. Look at this. Look at all this support it broke. And so, we would have done this position, something like this, maybe in there, 2 to 1. Let's keep this going. So this would have been a loss rate there. So that would have been a loss rate there. Obviously, that's fine. I mean, if you were short crypto, shorting crypto is, you just you just never know, because crypto has been just crazy. And this isn't crypto, this is Coinbase. But obviously, if crypto's going up, Coinbase is gonna probably be pretty strong as well with it. So it did make its way up to this next zone. So this next zone would have been an interesting buy area. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So really strong candles. So what needs to happen? There needs to be some price action going on in this next zone right here. And so it actually did. It tested it, and then it came back down. So this is essentially candle by candle. This is just the hourly chart. And so again, a lot of folks, this is what happens, right? And so this is why I did a zone, because if this was just a line right here and it broke it, you've been like, oh man, this is a breakout, kind of like this. And then it comes back down and gets you. So you actually got out. You would actually got caught twice. So this was the first one. And they do this sometimes, but the best thing to do is wait for a confirmation. This was a confirmation. It looked good, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's okay. And so it did come all the way back down there until it broke out. So this is actually a breakout candle right here. So you see that, how there is a zone here. So it has to confirm above it. It did confirm above it. So this is the candle that confirmed. And the very next candle, really nice. And it just continued to go up. So you see how, and if I have volume on here, you could I bet volume, this is actually our pressure histogram, but yeah, you see how volume just started to go up. And so this is one of our free tools here, but volume continued to just rocket up as this continued to go up. So yeah, look at that. Really cool. Great stuff. Great stuff. So yeah, that was a nice Coinbase trade. So do we have any? Let's go on the daily. Is this all-time highs? Oh no. Oh, this was in the initial. So this was 429. Wow. But yeah, it broke this. So basically broke the recent highs from December. So great looking chart on Coinbase there. So all this stuff, this is what I like about having the using the Magnazone, is you can see all this good stuff just automatically. You see how it would performed at these different breakout levels. Nike, little fake out there on a breakout sell. A nice breakout up to the down or up to the upside right there though. But Nike's kind of in an interesting zone here. Meta had some interesting stuff happen. I just did a video on, and I don't know how much interest it would bring, but they had some interesting things with their groups. Essentially what happened was they banned like thousands and thousands of groups just just automatically without even like I think their AI glitched or something, and it false banned a bunch of stuff. So I don't know if they ever actually got them back yet. But it didn't really seem to hurt it all that much. There was a little bit of a dip here, but yeah, pretty strong looking chart here on Meta. So nice little breakout right here. It was try to bounce here, but it did not work out. There was another nice breakout. But yeah, this is what I love about this thing as well. Is I mean, look at this. This is one. This is two, three breakouts. So the last three big moves on Meta, this thing was ahead of it. So there's one, there's two, and then there is, well, potentially the third. I shouldn't say three because this is a making of a potential nice big move. I have this line drawn. I don't know when I actually drew this line, but seemed to pierce it. So we'll see if it can get above it. You can do the upside there. So. But yeah, all right. So yeah, I figured I'd just go live today real quick, kind of show you some dip or rip trades. So the one that interests me a lot was Tesla. So let's actually recap that one more time. So TSLL. So keep an eye on. So it needs to hold this. So if it holds this, this could be a great buy opportunity. Once it breaks this, though, I would just continue to ride that stop loss, and as soon as it breaks that, just get out because, and what they might try to do is stop people out because big money likes to do that as well. But it has been holding this, so I wouldn't be going too crazy with this one because there is a defined level down here that it could go to. So there's a very strong level that it could go to down here at 274. Again, I'm not saying that Tesla's gonna everything's going to crash. Tesla's going back down to, that, and it's going to crash and it's going to break this level and this level. But look at this, where this level is. Price respected it drastically right here. Came back down here at those big time sell-off levels. So interesting looking chart here on Tesla, though. All right, one last call. If anybody has any questions or any kind of ticker you'd like me to look at, throw it in the comments now. If not, then we'll go ahead and get out of here. Wow, check this out. Here's a look at Palantir, so PLTR ticker. So it tried to break out. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So it tried to break out here, and it could not. So an initial pop on the hourly here, and then just it closed back down here. So we actually did not get a trade. We actually did not get a buy trade just yet. So I don't know if this is a sign. This is a sign. This could be a. So I have an indicator called. Let's actually look. Let's actually do a little bit of. Okay, so it didn't get one just yet. There was one right there, though. Okay, so this is a bearish engulfing candle, essentially. So there was two. There was two right there. There's one on the 30-minute as well. So interesting stuff happening on Palantir right now. And so essentially, what I'm doing here, this is called the dark cloud indicator that I basically it just paints bearish engulfing candles, and so I like to throw that on the chart sometimes when I see stuff like this. So there was one back here that happened on the 4-hour chart, and then there was a couple initial ones that happened right here. So and there's some interesting stuff happening on Palantir. So this could reverse. Definitely could reverse. This is big. This is if there is warning signs, this would be it. These two big wicks. And so what levels would we potentially come to and bounce? Well, let's check out the indicator here. So yeah, this is a pretty large move. So that's the let's see here. Let me go to price range. How many percentage? So that's 17% down. So unless if there's some massive sell off happening, I'm pretty bullish on Palantir. But you know, we like to get those dips if you're a dip buyer. So this is the next dip level, strong dip level. Let's actually do this. Let me add a couple more lines here. Yeah, so this is another one. So this could have been a previous one as well. And so essentially what I'm doing here with this indicator is these are all previous zones that have gone on to, they happened on the charts, but then they go away after a certain amount of time, just because you don't want your chart to just go crazy with these lines. But what I like to do is kind of have some show what happened on some of these previous ones. So here was a zone. This was a resistance zone. This was a resistance zone that turned into support. So this is probably where it could go. So see these two big wicks right here. So if it does reverse, I would say this 135 area could be an interesting level to target on Palantir. Put that back down to 2. Oh, okay, yeah. So I did. Okay, so this is the defaults actually. So okay, I was gonna say there should be a level right there, and there is. Okay, so Palantir. So Palantir, if they come down to 135, that's an interesting level to target for a potential bounce trade. All right, so I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. There's not a ton of you right here live, but if you're jumping in if you're watching this replay, I appreciate your guys' support. If you want to give a quick little follow, quick little like, subscribe, it would drastically help our channel grow. We're still pretty small, but I haven't really. We need a good schedule. Would you not agree? We need a schedule. You guys like schedules. I like schedules. I got to get a particular time where I would do these things, live, because I know a lot of you guys enjoy live, live stuff like this. And so I would need to get some kind of schedule going, whether it's at 10 a.m. every day, whether it's 11 a.m. or 9 a.m. or the market open. I do have an interesting morning power hour system that I like to trade. So that was something that I had an idea on. I also am really loving using this Magnazone for these levels. And but I use a lot of systems. You see all these are all indicators. So these are all systems that I like to check, just particular on what a chart is doing at the time. And so we even have something called OCP. And so this could be an interesting sell level right here. So there's so many different ways to trade. There's so many different systems. There's reversals. There's momentum. You name it, we got it, and we trade it. So with that being said, if you're interested, like I said, if you're interested in Magnazone, go ahead. The early access is available. This is what kind of this whole time I've been showing you guys the indicator. So in the chat, there is a little link there. If you're interested, go ahead and check that out. And if you do, I actually have a private. So this is actually my channel right here, but I do have an early access channel here for anybody who joins. And so what I'm doing in here is I'm just doing a lot of this kind of stuff, but just in here. So you'll see a little bit more in there as well if you join. So, all right, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate everybody jumping in today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.